us, who will even support us, somebody who would even come up to our door, our car window and pray with us. What a privilege. Many places in the world, you'll never, ever find that, right? Never could ever find a Christian who would come up and pray with you. Tremendous need in the world. Tremendous need for young people who have vision to go out with a little skill that can impact lives for eternity, with God's special Spirit igniting their passion to serve and setting that whole thing on fire, right? Taking us up together. I want to introduce our team this morning, the students that have come, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves and then just say their name, where they're from, and what mission track they're in preparation to go serve. And why don't you say which year in the program you are as well? Can we add that one thing to it as well, so that we know? So we have juniors and seniors. We left the girls behind. I don't know if you noticed that or not. It's 9 guys here. We have 6 girls in the program. It just made it a little bit easier for us to travel in one vehicle and one chaperone with just the guys. So they're here. The girls will get a chance to go as well to different places, and we're traveling together. But it's just the guys this morning. So I'm going to have them stand up and turn around and face you and introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Zebedee. I was born in Mountain Home, so I can say I'm from Arkansas. I'm a junior in Oklahoma Academy, and so it's my first year in the Mission Track program. I'm in a brand new Mission Track. They just started agriculture this year, and so I'm very proud to be one of the first.
My name is Christian. I live in Oklahoma. I am a junior, and I'm in the media Mission Track.
My name is Xavier. I am a junior as well. I am in music track, and I'm from Florida originally. Florida.
My name is Andre. I'm from Missouri, and I am a senior in the auto mechanics program.
My name is Lincoln. I'm from Oklahoma. I like it there. And I'm a senior in the program doing aviation and auto mechanics.
My name is Ethan, and I'm from Indiana. I'm a senior, and I'm doing aviation.
Well, my name is Ezekiel. I'm also from Indiana. I'm a junior, and I'm doing aviation and communications.
My name is Micah. I'm a senior, and I'm from Oregon, and I'm doing aviation and auto mechanics.
My name is Caleb Brooks. I'm a junior. I'm from originally Michigan, now in Oklahoma, and I am in the aviation mission track.
So this year we have opened up, as some of the students have mentioned, auto mechanics, music, and agriculture. We've added those. We would like to have, we have some students working in our elementary school who we would like to have an elementary track. We're still working on developing that. And one track that is missing out of all of those is anybody, there's a big one, a huge one. Medical, right, healthcare. We would love to have healthcare. We keep trying to find a way to make that one work for us, and we haven't quite got it yet because we don't really have a health outlet on campus at this point, but we're working towards that. We have 7 nurses on staff and 1 retired ER doctor, and there's a lot of opportunity for it, but we don't necessarily have something in that regard. So pray with us. There are many young people who want to develop those types of skills, all of those skills, and we keep looking for more young people who are eager to go serve and to train for service. As part of their, just as a by the way, as part of what they do, I train them to help to look for and to develop support teams that will support them through prayer and financially to take them into mission service. So that's part of what they do, and part of the work of visiting Mountain Home Church is to follow up with those generous sponsors who have helped us in the past and to share with them the continuing vision for the work through Oklahoma Academy and training young people who want to be workers in the harvest. So if you get a letter from them, they might follow up with you, or they might give you a call at some point or something and see if you might be interested in joining one of the teams. How many of you would like to support a young person going into service? You hold up a red card if you don't like that. No, just kidding, just kidding. She's like, red cards. Yeah. Okay, very good. Well, we want to connect with you, as that's part of what we want to do as well, is promote these young people to you as they're going out. We're eager to see them go, and we're eager to help them get on their way. Yeah, be successful in service. So we have graduated so far out of this program 8 students through the past 3 years. Our first two girls, actually were both pilots, went to Peru projects in South America. They served there. And one of them's now in India, serving in India. The other one was in India, came back now, and is working at Oklahoma Academy, those 2 girls. Last 2 years ago, we sent out 3 pilots, 3 in aviation and 2 in digital media. 1 went to Peru, 2 went to the Philippines, and 2 went to Alaska and started work in a remote area of Alaska, out of Dillingham area, and started doing some new evangelistic work out in that area. Alaska Conference is after us now because they're like, okay, who are you sending to come and fill the shoes there? And we're like, okay. Last year we only had 1 senior in our whole school. We only had 1 senior as a down year, but he went in mission track. He's now in Belize in a construction track there. So helping out with the MOVE school in Belize. So we're really excited to see these young people grow and go really into service. And I'm going to give them an opportunity to share. I've asked them each to prepare just a 5 to 7 minute little snippet of their life, and who they are, where they see God leading them right now, and where He's taking them into the future. So I'm going to give them an opportunity, and we're going to have, I believe, Andre first, and then Savior, and then Lincoln. Okay? Andre, come up and share with us a little bit of the vision of where God is leading you.
Hello again. I haven't done this in like a year, so have mercy. Yes, okay. So, when I was born, there was a problem. I had a disease that's normally not curable. I had juvenile rheumatoid arthritis in my right knee, I think. So, for those of you who don't know, that's an autoimmune disorder where your body starts attacking your body. It's weird. And I mean, it's not that great. It would mean that I would not be able to walk. And further along the road, I would not be able to see. So by the time I was 5, my leg was in a cast, and we were visiting Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City, like every month or something like that. And I didn't know why we were going there. I just knew that there was food there. So I liked going to the hospital, and these guys can testify that I like food. And I would always get snacks. So I liked the hospital. I kind of wanted to be a doctor because of that. My parents also pushed me into being a doctor. So at the age of 7, I was going there regularly to get shots to help with that. And I wasn't ever going to be normal. Well, definition of normal. But so my parents prayed. And there's a lot of prayer and there's a lot of power and a lot of prayer. So they would pray, and they dedicated me to God. And I had no idea of this. I learned this about 2 years ago. All I knew is that we stopped going to the hospital, and I was like, no more snacks. And so they dedicated me to God, and I got healed. There is no longer any residuals in my knee, and when I go to the eye doctor, they check my eyes to make sure that it's not messing up anything, and it hasn't. Amen. So that reminds me of a verse in Jeremiah. It says, Jeremiah 29:11, it says, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not an evil, to give you an expected end." So God has a plan for each of us. And I was like, oh, so God healed me. So he has a plan for me. So I'm sitting there waiting, like, God, when are you going to tell me that plan? I kind of want to know that plan. And I was expecting a burning bush. I was expecting Moses' experience. I was expecting God to show up and be like, Andre, this is what you're going to do. But God doesn't always work like that, right? So we're getting into that. So I was like, does God really have a plan for me? And I became one of those ho-hum Christians that's like, yeah, I believe in God. Hasn't really done anything for me, but I mean, I guess he's there. And that didn't really work. So about 4 years ago now, me and my mom went to the GYC conference in Kentucky. I believe that's where it was. And we found a booth there, and the booth had a flight simulator. And I really liked flying because my dad used to be a helicopter pilot. So I went more from being, I want to be a doctor, to I want to fly helicopters, but that's really expensive. So we stuck with, let's fly planes. So I went there, and I was really interested in this school. Well, my mom was interested in the school for me. I was just interested in the flight simulator. And about that time, I was in the 8th grade. I was going to graduate and go to high school. And I wanted to go to the high school where all my friends were going. And my parents said, no, we're going to send you to this school in Oklahoma. I was like, Oklahoma? Where is that again? I didn't want to go there. I wanted to go to the school with all my friends, but it wasn't the greatest of schools. And I'm not that social. So I was like, you're meaning to tell me you're going to take me out of everything I know and put me in this random place with random people that I don't know, and I'm most likely not going to make friends with them that quickly. And now that I look back at it, it was probably a good thing because I have made some pretty good friends. So we went there, and that's where we get into the still small voice part that she was talking about. If you remember, there's a story about Elijah. And this takes place just after he called fire down from heaven. So he's seen God work, right? He's seen, oh, God exists. And then what happens? He gets threatened by the queen. What does he do? He's not, oh, God's got me. He runs. He's like, I'm out of here, bye. And he goes and he hides in a mountain. And God's like, what are you doing here? And in the story, it says, God says, go forth and stand on the mountain. And the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountain and broke rocks, and there was just all this stuff happening. But the Lord wasn't in there. And then there was an earthquake, and the Lord wasn't in the earthquake. And then there was a great fire, but the Lord wasn't in the fire. And then there was this still, small voice. And that's what God was in. He says, Elijah. And Elijah heard it. And then, the rest of the story. So that's what happened to me. When I went to the school my freshman year, I was like, I don't want to be here. It's not going to be great. And then I went, and we go through registration day. We go through a bunch of different stations to get our school year lined up. And I was meeting with Mr. Brooks for the vocational program. And he was like, oh, right, so you want to fly? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then he was like, do you want to be a missionary? Do you want to go out and spread God's word? And that's when I heard that still small voice. He said, Andre, do you? Do you want to go out, be a missionary for me? Come on. And I was like, that's it. That's the plan. Yes, we're going to go. So now that was my freshman year. Now I'm a junior, or now I'm a senior. So my junior year, I joined the aviation program, but So I'm now in the auto mechanics program instead of the aviation program. And I'm really happy about that because my dad is the teacher of the auto mechanics program, so it's working out pretty well. So that's what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going to go yet for my mission year. There's a bunch of different places. I go to Belize or the Philippines or a bunch of different places. I want to go to Japan. But that's all up to what God says. And when that still small voice comes and calls me to where I'm going to go, I hope that I'll hear it and then I'll listen to it.
All right, good morning, church. Happy Sabbath. How are y'all? Y'all are great? That's great. My name is Xavier Erasmo Calderon. I am 17 years old and a junior at Oklahoma Academy this year. Yeah, I've been Adventist my entire life. How many of you are Adventist your whole life? Okay, that's a good number of people. And it was, now people might see that as a blessing. A lot of times it is a curse because you're very used to, what goes on and, you get it. And I wasn't a Adventist. I was more on the liberal side of it, like super liberal. Like basically, I was only Adventist in name, even Christian in name at that point, But my family and I, no disrespect to my mom and my dad, they tried their best, but we didn't really, know about things. I didn't know about Ellen White till I was like 13, 14, and it was a struggle, I guess, Things happen, and I never really knew what I wanted to do when I grew up. I didn't even have a plan or anything. I just knew that you grow up, you go to school, you make money, you get married, have kids, die. Not a big deal. I didn't really. Whenever I heard of the word missionary, whenever I thought of missionaries, I thought some guy going to some jungle and he meets with these native people and they cook him over a fire when they're done, and if you fail, and if you don't fail, which I thought was rare, you baptize every single person there, and then boom, and then you go back to the States and live a good life. That's what I thought. I didn't like that. I didn't like that idea, Anyways, fast forward. I was. I don't like to brag, but I'll just say this: when I was in elementary school, I was a pretty smart kid. I didn't like going to school, but I did school anyways, and I did it good, better than everyone else. And I was like, you guys are okay. I guess I did like to brag, but so around COVID happened. I had to do online school, and I didn't like online school, because I didn't like school in general. So I would just go on the computer, turn off my camera, turn off my mic, sleep till like 10:30. And they'll, when they ask, "So, Xavier, can you answer this question?" It's even if I was awake, I didn't like answering. So I didn't do good in online school. And my mom was like, "Okay, we need to find a different school. COVID's settling down now. Not many people are scared of it now." And we had these friends from years ago called the Jagishes, and Christian right here, he's a Jagish. And they called my mom the night before she was thinking about that. And they're like, "Hey, we're going to Oklahoma Academy right now, and it's Oklahoma." I didn't even know she was calling them until the next morning. My mom's like, "Pack yourself up, we're visiting Oklahoma Academy." What? I'm like, Oklahoma? And okay, actually, a year ago before that, in 2020, back when everyone was scared of COVID, I was at this gas station and I saw this guy. And this guy, he saw me put on a mask, and he's like, "Hey, if you don't want to worry about COVID, you should go to Oklahoma. There's nothing there," And and when I went there, I was like, "Oh, he was right." So that's all I knew about Oklahoma. I'm like, okay, Tornado Alley, whatever. Yeah. So we visited Oklahoma the same day, and I got there. And it was around the green time, so I was like, "Oh, everything looks luscious and green," around the summertime. It was the end of the school year of these seniors' freshman year. And I went there, and they said, "Oh, we have a flight program." I was like, "Wow, a flight program. That's great." So they took me to the airplane. The airplane didn't even have a propeller on it. It was, you know. I was like, oh goodness. It's fine, you know. And so I introduced all the students. Everyone seemed so different there. I never really met people like that in my life, you know. I've gone to public schools. I've gone to a lot of schools. I've gone to public schools. I've gone to, you know, other Adventist private schools, you know. Everyone here seemed really different. Everyone is so nice too, you know. I even met Mr. Brooks. He's the one who gave me a tour of the campus, like a lot of these guys, you know. And they introduced Messiah's Mansion. Who knows about Messiah's Mansion here? It's a life-size model of the sanctuary, which we have right next to the school, and they have a building with all these, you know, prophecies and everything laid out in their life-size. It's really great. I thought that was cool. We have a farm over there, you know, and I was really impressed. I was like, wow, this is actually a nice school. And of course, at that time, I was in my freshman year. I failed my freshman year because I didn't like online school. So I had to do it again. And I was like, okay, I might as well do my freshman year at Oklahoma Academy. I have a good time of passing, you know. We have, you know, this crazy French teacher. We have this, you know, this English teachers. And I will also visit the classes, so I thought, you know, it's really good. And was God leading me there? I didn't know. I didn't know at all. I didn't know anything at all yet. So that night, I did the application. And I had the registrar right next to me, so you know, it was really easy. And my mom also wanted to be a staff there as well to get a new job because she had worked as a kitchen manager in the prison. So I did the application. You know, we left and everything. A couple months later, we came back in July, right, to move there. We moved there in July. Literally, like, not too long, you know, before that, my grandma died. So right when we moved there, we had to go to New Jersey to go to my grandma's funeral. And then we came back. And then the first thing I get there, they're like, oh, you have to work, go mow the lawn. I'm like, oh, okay, you know. So I have to work now, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. It was actually, I learned a lot of things. I learned how to properly mow the lawn. And in Oklahoma Academy, you do learn a lot of things, you know. You learn a lot about mechanics, a lot about, you know, just everything in general. It's a really great opportunity, you know. And I heard about Mission Track, okay. And at that time, there were only 3 mission tracks. There's aviation, digital media, construction. I was like, okay, I'm not really interested in any of those 3. I was a freshman at that time. Then when I got to sophomore year, same thing, was it? Yeah. Well, sophomore year, a couple more things. And then now, junior year. Now, another thing I was introduced to was choir. And I wanted to learn how to sing. Okay, I didn't like the way I sang. And so I met the choir director, who's been choir director for 26 years at the school. And she was like, oh, I'll get you singing in 6 months. You know, I was singing in 5 months. You know, I don't consider myself that good of a singer yet, but I'm still working on it, you know? And I'm in music track now. Long story short, I was interested in music. I'm music track, I'm in bells, and I've learned a lot about music theory at the school. I don't particularly play an instrument. I try to play guitar. I'm okay, I guess. And yeah, that's where God has led so far. Now, where is God leading me? Because I told you before that I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I still kind of don't know what I want to be when I grow up, okay? But what gives me hope is Psalms 19:105. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and light unto my path. Yes, okay. What does a lamp do? When you're in darkness, and you have a lamp right here, you can only see the next step right in front of you, okay? If you let God lead step by step, then, you know, you're pretty much valued to success, you know. Let God lead step by step. And I want to appeal that, okay? No matter if you're at the beginning of your life or near the end of your life, if you let God lead step by step, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't be worried about where you're going to your destination. Just let him be a light into your path, you know, let him be a lamp, and let him lead you. All right? And just like Abraham didn't even know where he was going. God said, get out the city. You know, Abraham didn't know. And just like that, I've decided I want to let God lead and not myself, and that there are people in the world that have a need. And as an Adventist, it is our duty, our responsibility to help with that and to spread God's word.
How are you guys? Is this on? Okay, that's good. can hardly hear it. Okay, happy Sabbath, everybody. Okay, so my name is Lincoln Gordon, and no one's trying to go anywhere, are they? Oh, that's good. I'm just teasing. I won't take too long. I'm sitting over here. Mr. Brooks is like, I'm like, no. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So, like I said, my name is Lincoln, and I'm a senior at Oklahoma Academy. And I'm actually really excited to come here and talk to you guys. I was like, I want the biggest group of people I can get. So, hello. Now, I'm not here to tell you guys about a miraculous change or that I was like this. I don't have a crazy turnaround story where I was on drugs and I came to Christ and I was in prison. I don't have anything like that. What I have is, I guess, what we would call the Laodicean testimony. Okay? So, we're going to start with just a few years ago, right before I came to Oklahoma Academy. Nothing really before that point is very significant. I was raised an Adventist, like many of us are. Who here was raised an Adventist? Most of us? Okay. So who here has kids who are raised Adventists? Okay, so there's a lot of Adventist presents here who grew up that way, okay? So I was raised Adventist, at least to the best of my mom's ability. And I guess let's put this in perspective here. I was Adventist, yes, but what role did God play in my life? Probably next to none. You pray for your food, and you dread the Sabbath. Okay, Sabbath would come, and that meant I was really into video games at the time, okay? So the video games go away when Sabbath comes, and you sit there and you wait. And even before I was into video games, my brother and I would sit there, and we'd find out when Sabbath would end, and we'd sit there and we'd watch the clock. And as soon as it would strike, so if Sabbath ended at 8, okay, 7:59, we're sitting there, we're watching it, okay? As soon as it would switch, we go do whatever, okay? And that's just what we did. My 8th grade year, video games were a really big thing. So that's pretty much what I did. I'd wake up in the morning, play them, go to school, come back, play them, eat, play more video games, go to sleep. That's just what I did. Pretty much. That was my existence. And so I'm in the 8th grade at this point, and my mom wants to see where I can go to high school. And I'm told about a little school called Oklahoma Academy, and I didn't know much about it other than they sounded Amish. And I remember reading through the handbook. I was laughing at it with my friends. Can't wear shorts outside the dorm? What? Or that I have to eat vegan, or all these different things. My phone was locked in a cabinet. That was so strange to me. That was so foreign. And my mom told me I wanted to go there, pretty much, and that's how that went. So my mom told me I wanted to go there, and I go there. Okay? And I didn't like it at first because the people were weird. Everyone was so much different than I was. You have these hyper-conservative Adventists here at the school, and I'm like, I just came out of public school a few years earlier, and I went to a little private school before that. But it was so different. It was weird. I didn't like it, at all. Now, so I didn't like it when I first came to Oklahoma Academy, but then it grew on me, and something happened in the second semester, okay? So sometimes you can have a job switch at the semester, all right? And I was put in canvassing. Does anybody know what canvassing or literature evangelism is? We know what that is? Okay, so essentially, just for anyone who doesn't, you go door to door, and you leave books on a donation basis, and it's typically spiritual or health message-related material. And that's what we did, and I loved it. And what this did is this began, and this is actually when I first started coming to Christ, okay? So, in my opinion, correct me if anyone thinks that I'm wrong, but being in God's front line of work is the best way to get close to him, okay? So to be involved in his work, right? So we're doing canvassing, and I'm loving it. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday. We're going canvassing today. And be so excited. Or it's Thursday, because we canvass 3 days a week there. Now, so we did that. And I canvassed for the rest of that semester. I was baptized that May. And then that summer, I did Messiah's Mansion. Now, I'll do some more explanation on Messiah's Mansion. It's just a presentation about the story of salvation demonstrated through the tabernacle found in Exodus. If you guys haven't seen it, it's really great, and it travels all over the country. We were in Hot Springs, Arkansas earlier this year, actually, in April. So if they come back again, please go. We'll be in Claremore, actually, this October. Anyway, so I did Messiah's Mansion that summer, and then I canvassed again an entire year. And what's happening here is I was like, I love this. I love doing God's work. I don't like doing anything else. You will not catch me doing a 9 to 5. It won't be me. I decided I can't run the same race everybody else is. I will not graduate high school, go to college, get an education, and then work a job, and then retire, and then die. Right. So that wouldn't be me. So, but also, I decided I wanted to do mission service. It was exciting. It was fun. It was different, and it brought me closer to God. And I didn't see why I could do anything else. I didn't like doing anything else. Being home longer than about a week at a time, I was just like, I wasn't at the school. I wasn't doing the mission service. I just didn't like it. Now, where does, what did I do with this desire? Where does this come in? So we've been talking about the mission track. And of course, we have the aviation program. We have all these other things, okay? Now, we're going to go back to my ground school year. Not my ground school year, my freshman year. And, sorry, guys. My freshman year. And I was in a class called ground school. Does anybody know what ground school is? Okay, ground school is where you go learn about airplanes and you study for your written exam, one of the 3 exams required for your pilot's license. And I didn't know what it was. I just knew I was enrolled in this class, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I thought it was a class about mowing the lawn. Okay? So I'm in this class, and I find out, like day 1, probably, hopefully day 1, that we're talking about airplanes, and I loved it. And I'm a freshman at this time, so of course it was only the juniors, the cool juniors and seniors who got to be in the aviation program, so I had to sit there and wait. Well, I waited, and it came. So we get in there, and we're in the aviation program. So we're flying a little bit, we're doing ground school, but the mission track includes more than just that. So we have a Bible study called Experiencing God, where you essentially learn what it means to have faith in God. Not needing the whole roadmap to see where you're going, but following him one step at a time. And also how to do support raising, how to get a team with you to help you go to the mission field. Because learning how to fly an airplane and going to the mission field isn't free, right? Okay, and so talking to people and sharing that vision, like we're doing right now, sharing that vision and talking to people about what this looks like and what we're doing and what these aspirations are and where we believe God is calling us to serve for him. And I've kind of taken the outlook of trying to obtain more tools outside of just the mission track. Of course, there's aviation and then auto mechanics, but another thing, an aspect of the school that I've taken advantage of is the fact they have foreign languages there. So they teach French and Spanish, and I'm taking all those classes, and it's fantastic. Okay, so and speech. Okay, they do teach us to go up here and talk to people and do song service and tell children's story and all these different things. And so what you're doing here at the school is we talked about this in Sabbath school this morning, about making yourself as capable of a person as you can be for the service of God. And that is really what we're doing here. But why? Why do we do this? Why do I want to dedicate my life to this? I love my dad to death, but he was like, Lincoln, why would you want to go be a mission pilot? Why? I mean, you could die, right? What is it? There's no money in it. There's no, where is the earthly benefit from this? Now in Matthew, could someone hand me a Bible real quick so I can quote this right? Okay, great. So in Matthew chapter 28, give me a second. Do you? Okay, you want to read it for us, or do you want me to? Okay, go for it. Oh, great. Okay, Matthew chapter 28. I'm going to focus on the part I don't think a lot of people focus on, but I love this part. Okay, so of course, this is the Great Commission. Woohoo. Every missionary is going to bring this up. Okay? And Jesus came and spoke to them, saying, all authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth. Go therefore and make disciples of all of the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Okay, verse 18. Now, we have Christ is here right before he's about to leave. These are his closing comments before he's about to go up to heaven. And he establishes himself as this almighty deity, okay? He says, this is who I am. I am the king of the world, okay? Now, something to think about here. Okay, let's go back, say, 1,000 years or 2,000 years, and you are a servant in a king's court. And that king tells you to go do something. Are you going to just whimsically or just, saunter over to do what he said? No. You're going to do it with intention and quickly and to the best of your ability, right? And that is the king of a small nation here on earth that is temporary. So let's think about this here. When the king of the world, of the universe, one of the last things he decides to say before he leaves says, go out to all the world. Don't you think it would need to be taken seriously? Right? Yeah, we just blow it off. That's the honest truth. I mean, and crucify me, but if the generations before us had truly loved God with all their heart and listened to this commandment, we wouldn't still be here. Now, we've talked about where we feel God is calling us. Some of us have, and I'm sure others could, and Mr. Brooks will do that. But my question for you guys is, where do you think God is calling you? Where are you going to help in this project? And yeah, Mr. Brooks, you want to come up? Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Amen. Well, again, we truly appreciate the support that we have in the Mountain Home Church, and we appreciate those who have come on board to send these young people into service. But it's not just we're not just necessarily thinking about a financial. This is a spiritual battle, guys. This is a spiritual war. It's over young people's hearts. It's over our hearts, and it's over a world that needs to be won, right, for the Lord. So I think the appeal is very real. I think the appeal is very valid. Where are we at in this great work? And I wish that we had more time to spend with you and your church here in Arkansas and be able to see. I know that you're at work here. I know that there's a very vibrant church here, and I praise God for that. And I thank you for keeping the fire alive here in Mountain Home. Thank you for continuing that work. Thank you for your little school that soldiers on, right? Let's put those young people into the Lord's service. Let's see them grow and go. And thank you for continuing to do that. We appreciate that, and we appreciate your support. And we appreciate the opportunity to be able to share with you again this morning a little bit of the vision that God has given us to serve Him in His great work. And if there's anyone who would like more information, we're going to be enjoying the fellowship meal with you guys this afternoon. Thank you so much for preparing that for us. Thank you for hosting us and being willing to share with us. And we look forward to talking with you more in less formal time about some of the other ideas and thoughts that the young people have to serve. But we'll also be having Vespers this evening, I understand as well. And I think that the time was set for 6:45 this evening, right before sundown. And the reason we're not going to be traveling back to the academy today, it's a long trip, and we'd just rather spend the Sabbath here in Mountain Home and with you guys again. If you'd like to worship with us, we'll have some music this evening. We'll have a couple more guys share their testimonies this evening and a little bit more vision, and just spend a little bit more time with you. If you'd like to come out, we'd really enjoy spending the Sabbath hours with you and closing the Sabbath together this evening. Thank you so much for being here and for your attention. And last question. You got a red and green card, or a yellow and green card still? Maybe we'll do two questions. Okay. You got a yellow and green card. Nobody wants to opt out with the red card on this one, right? Okay. Would you rather spend, green card, if you'd rather spend an hour right now, an hour in heaven, you could get transported to heaven for 1 hour, or 1 week on earth with Jesus. Which one do you want? Yellow for 1 week on earth with Jesus, or green for 1 hour in heaven right now? Yeah, you can't do both. You have to pick one. So which did we say? I see a lot of yellows here. I see a few greens. All right. Now, let me ask you, going to heaven would be really cool, right? Going to heaven would be awesome. It would be really neat to see where God wants to take us. But think about what's going on here on earth, right? Is Jesus here right now? Is He at work here right now? Can we find Him at work here right now? Right? And where has He called us to serve? Right here, right now. He's given us a great commission and a great work to do. Thank you for sharing those thoughts with us. We're going to close now with our closing hymn, and I believe it is number 439, How Far From Home.